Guy Pearce is I live and breathe. One of my favorite actors. How you doing?
I'm very well, Tony. How are you, mate? Good
It's
to talk to
great
you.
to see you again. We talked on one of my favorite films of yours, A Christmas Carol. I think it's a brilliant film.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I do too.
And throughout the years. But this particular film, first of all, when you were growing up in Australia, I mean, did you love American Westerns?
Yeah, I mean, I loved lots of films, to be honest. I wasn't necessarily uh, just drawn to American Westerns, and it probably, I mean, it wasn't the highest thing on the list for me, but if one ever came on, they'd usually just see them on the TV during the day. If I took days off school and I'd watch old movies on TV. And I was always taken by Betty Davis films or, you know, um, Jimmy Stewart films
Sure.
or, whatever it might be, all sorts of random great classic American films. And then occasionally there'd be a John Wayne movie or so what was interesting actually was when John Hillcoat wanted to do the proposition, and he said, "Well, this is kind of going to be a western, but set in Australia." And it really took me a while to get my head around going, but a western is such an American thing. Like, is such a thing as an Australian western? And I guess really, it's the same. They can be the same thing, but just set in the Australian outback rather than the American West or the American outback. But I was certainly quite taken by the world of the American Western. Then, of course, I was even more perplexed once I learned about the spaghetti Western and that
Yeah.
they were actually filmed in Spain. So I was really confused about that for many years until I sort of figured out how that all came about. But to venture into the world of New Mexico and this film, of course, it's not a typical Western, I suppose.
No.
It has sort of supernatural to a degree elements to it. But to be in that world was, I felt like I understood it. And it was a little bit like going back in time. It was great.
Yeah, I told your director, Ned, I said, if Sergio Leone had done a horror film, it would be this one. I mean, it's just so spot on as far as the Western noir. And your character, Bender, is such a beautiful character to play.
Thank you. Well, look, really, and that's why I wanted to play him because he's so, he's so bouncing back and forth between the extremities of personality, of good and evil, of remorse and guilt and kind of just feeling nothing. And so it was really fantastic stuff to step into and to try and I mean it was beautifully written for a start.
Mhm.
So half of my work is therefore done. But to find the balance with a character like that who's claiming he doesn't believe any of what's going on, and yet at the same time he's drawn to this, really drawn to it, trying to find faith himself after the tragic things that have happened in his life and trying not to feel guilty about it, trying to blame others, so just somebody who is really searching, I guess, searching for meaning, searching for soul, searching for kind of answers. So yeah, it was a fantastic character to play. And also there's something about the style of Ned's film making. There's something Coen brothers about it. It's deeply disturbing, but also quite funny,
Yeah.
quite humorous, and all of it feeling authentic. So was really interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting world to get into. And Ned was just brilliant to work with because he's really open and lovely and yeah, funny and of course DeWanda was gorgeous to work with as well. So it was a pretty special experience actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a beautiful film, and I want to thank you so much for your time. It's short today, but my gosh, what a masterpiece this is in filmmaking.
Well, thank you very much. I know Ned will be very happy.
You take care and have a wonderful day, guy.
Thank you very much. You too.
Bye bye.